And welcome to the regular meeting of the Recreation and Parks Commission. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Presentations tonight? I don't see any.
Did we skip roll call?
I'm sorry, we did skip roll call. Let's skip roll call tonight. Go ahead, please
Yes.
do a roll call.
Okay. Oh, Commissioner, I'm going to say this wrong probably. Mark Cavagnolo is absent tonight. Commissioner Stolnak?
Present.
Commissioner Lubes?
Present.
Vice Chair Watson?
Present.
Chair Moda?
I am here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for keeping me honest here. Presentations tonight?
None this evening?
Okay, public communications. Step on up.
Yes. Coach?
Related to commission business only, and that is within the subject matter under the jurisdiction of the commission.
There we go.
Hi.
Hey, Coach.
I'd just like to take 2 minutes. Coach Woody, self-employed wide film, mattress films. I grew up playing with our neighboring kids, the Onondaga Nation kids, and that's what got me into West Point. Started lacrosse here 18 years ago, and I just wanted to make a note that these Haudenosaunee Iroquois Six Nations people, they're the literal founders of our country. In fact, their original 5 nations are still getting paid $500 a year as a thank you from the U.S. government that President Washington and Congress set up back in the first Congress. At any rate, so that's why lacrosse has been started here. I have an update on my last meeting. Our U.S. Lacrosse Association and U.S. Lacrosse Celebrate Lacrosse Week grant request using November Rec Park Rink and the beach. In effect, it was on behalf of our city and all of our youth sports programs, as I hope you'll see. It bodes well because word is that ours was the only request that came from LA County. So I've drafted some ideas. I'll start running up the chain of command, starting with, in effect, our lacrosse, in effect, lacrosse boss, quote unquote, Ms. Cummings. Thank you for serving, and hoping that we can use this U.S. lacrosse grant to help also celebrate Native Americans Heritage Month that month, that and also launch a possibly new rec program, year-round rec program that that Rachel likes for youth through adult. No check, no pads, co-ed, all youth sports competing with each other in the city. Baseball against softball against, et cetera, et cetera. At any rate, fingers crossed on this grant. Anyway, I do want to say in closing, it's been an honor and a pleasure serving our youth in youth sports programs all these years in town. That I think I've said I accepted, and I'm grateful, and even believe I was meant to be here, having been shot in the eyes with a blank just 3 months after graduating from West Point from close range. And it's like I mentioned to the city council, I now have been able to serve so many families and so many people have mentored coaches, and thank you, God. It's not me. It's just having grown up with these Native Americans that have a lot to give us still in our country. But at any rate, as I said to the city council in my inaugural DEI committee interview, our city, our rec parks and library department and our programs and our families are the heart beating right here in my chest, the air I breathe, and nothing less. And I know that there's all the coaches in El Segundo. I feel that I'm saying that on their behalf, and all of you for coaching. Thank you. And I'll do my best. Right now, I've delegated spring. This is the first year I have not coached a sport in my entire life, including in the Army after graduating. And delegated boys to Coach Elliott, high school coach, and girls to Coach Shea, our high school girls coach. And Mike Wagner is assisting Elliott in the organization and registration for boys. And I founded the girls board 6 years ago. And now, and I'm not done coaching, but including this November shindig, hopefully. But I do promise that I do have time now to do more of a big picture, and I'll do my best to serve the city with my last breath. And I want to at least try to make it at least through the 2028 Olympics. So thank you, everybody, for serving. And by the way, like you said, you suggested, we'll be tying in, this November would tie in all of our Youth Sports Council programs, ideally Rotary, Kiwanis, and it's at the high school band, high school. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I ran out last week. I was late for a physical therapy appointment.
Thank you, Woody.
Thank you, Coach.
Seeing no others, we'll close public communications. Consent calendar. Approval of the minutes of the Recreation and Parks Commission meeting of April 17th, 2024. Anyone? Okay, go ahead.
There was just a couple of things. Under L, there was Acting Recreation Superintendent Linnea Palmer. Shouldn't that say, that would have already been changed to Acting Recreation Manager?
Oh, potentially, yes, in April, yes.
Okay.
And then where it says Parks Superintendent Christopher Henson, it has Henson stated that the date of the pollinator garden planting is April 30th, which was correct. He also attended the kickoff meeting for the new El Segundo entry sign. That was not correct. That was 2 years ago.
Okay. Change that also. Entry sign.
So that just needs to come out.
Perfect. Yes.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept them with the changes, to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 4-0. Thank you. New business. I'm sorry, there's no unfinished business.
Correct.
New business. Field allocation policy update. Rachel Cummings, the Recreation Supervisor, is going to be presenting this.
Yes, Honorable Chair and members of the Commission, Recreation Supervisor Rachel Cummings will be providing an update on the field allocation policy. We have been discussing this for some time, but I will turn it over to her and let her provide an update on the recommended changes that we will take to the City Council.
All right, thank you. So good evening, Commissioners. So just a little bit of history on this policy. It was the original document was formed in 2004, and it's undergone several revisions since then. We formed a subcommittee in March of 2024 that included city staff and 2 commissioners at the time. It was Jeanette Gant and Bob Moda. Jeanette left the commission before she could be part of that conversation of the subcommittee, but we did meet and hash out some of these recommended changes between city staff and Chair Moda. What prompted some of this revision, staff was given direction to take a look at it. We also had a staff change in September. I've been in my role for, I guess it's been about 8 or 9 months now, and then we also had the joint use agreement, which prompted some of these changes also. But more or less, the spirit and the philosophy of this policy has remained pretty consistent. Most of these changes are going to be a result of the JUA changes and then just some consistency throughout the document. So the first slide that I have here on the board is just an overview of some of the updates that you will see in the field allocation policy, which I was able to email you guys out earlier this afternoon, but apologies, it didn't make it into the agenda packet. But more or less, these are the JUA updates in regards to the facility and maintenance changes. So this includes Center Street School and Raytheon Fields as being part of our scheduling, as well as releasing the responsibility of maintenance for Center Street and Raytheon. Retitling Richmond and Center Street to be Richmond Street School, Center Street School throughout the documents, changing that Richmond is being maintained now by El Segundo Unified School District and not the city. We've added in requested duties for groups to perform some sort of maintenance in between their games, as recommended by our city maintenance staff. Updated our wet field policy to include a secondary update on the weekends so that a secondary look at the field conditions can be made and a call can be made if weather progresses throughout the day. And then there was a suggested update on managing banners on the fields. Sorry, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, sorry about that, Rachel. Yep. Oh, did you push it? Oh. He's coming back to help you, Rachel. Perfect, right there. Oh, go back one. There you go.
Okay, so those were the previous slide were the facility and maintenance updates as a result of the JUA. Some of the additional updated policies that you will find in the document are surrounding some of our city administrative policies, which have changed in the last couple of years, and as well as adding in language that allows the director of the Recreation Parks and Library Department to make certain decisions and exceptions to the field policy as seen fit by the department. We've added in that random audits will be conducted for field space utilization, which is something we've discussed in our past Youth Sports Council meetings. As I just mentioned, updated city policies for city documentation. We've now outlined that specifically in the policy to provide insurance, business license, workers' comp. Although some of this has been past practice, we've now included it into the policy, including the city's special event approval process. We have a new approval process for large public space special events. So this will be like the Little League Parade or any other types of city resources that are used for the Youth Sports Council, and changing the space allocations to a quarterly language instead of biannually to go more with the seasonal shift of scheduling, and then cleaning up the Youth Sports Council language. It was just varying throughout the document, switching from council to committee, so we've just unified that language to be uniform across the board. And those are the major updates. They're highlighted in red, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here available for that.
Can I ask about, back on the last page, why Center Street is in but Richmond is now out? Is that, I don't know how I missed that, but.
So I think that's part of the joint use update. Center Street is in terms of scheduling. Richmond is out in terms of maintenance. But the city will schedule both Center and Richmond
So we
and
schedule them
maintain
both.
neither of them.
we
So
don't
we're
maintain
adding
them.
Center because it makes sense.
Right.
right? Not have
Previously.
one process,
Yeah.
you know, or multiple processes. And then maintenance, we're
There's-
taking it out because they're making it part of some school maintenance program or something?
The joint use was updated so that the city will not maintain either Center Street or Richmond Street fields. It falls back on the school district to maintain
Right.
both of those, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Looks like you're ready to say something, Julie.
No, so when is that starting, the maintenance program?
That's already
June
started.
1st, it's already in effect.
Okay, because I thought I saw a city person on Richmond.
So we
yesterday.
do run our adult softball league out on Richmond, and so that would be the only exception to that rules because it's our program. We need the fields lined, so they'll line it for our games, and that's
Oh,
that's
okay, so for,
if it was
for
in a
city
recent
programs.
yeah.
We'll maintain it.
You
We'll
maintain
set
it
up or do
for-
what we need.
Correct, like the school district will not be setting up our field lining for our city programs, so that's on us to make sure that happens for our programs.
Okay, but like overall maintenance of it, the school district
Correct.
maintains it, and then we line it for.
For our
for our
programs, but not
programs.
for the user groups. So the user groups, if there's user groups, if there's, you know, softball or whoever, then they have to work with the district for
Or
that.
they take it on
Or they
themselves.
take it on
yeah.
themselves.
Okay,
And then what's banners on fields?
yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that in here?
What is the banners on fields?
Oh, this
Joseph,
was,
do you want to speak to that?
yeah.
Regarding the banners on fields, we've been getting quite a few of them, and they're staying up after the seasons are over, and they're not taking them down. Also, like on Little League, they're putting them along the fence line, blocking irrigation, so you get certain areas that are getting brown spots because the banners are blocking the fan of the irrigation. So in order to place it, if they're gonna put banners, we need to approve where the banners are gonna be going, so it doesn't affect the turf areas.
So are you suggesting an update the next time, or was there some, because I didn't see anything in the document in April.
That did not make it in
So
the
you're saying for the
documents.
next time?
Yes.
Throw it in this? But you can still administratively tell them to take their banners down?
Correct, we can still
Yeah,
do
okay.
that, but it would be a suggestion to
All right.
add that in explicitly
Right.
into this
We'll
policy.
Because this has been,
We'll
I've
add
been on
that
this
in.
topic for years, over bannering of
Yeah.
everything. needs
So
to
we'll
be-
add that in before it goes to the council. We just didn't have time to add it in before this meeting,
Awesome.
but that's why I wanted it at least on the slide so staff could,
Yeah, they
you know,
should,
share the info.
they should all be taking them down as soon
Yes.
as the season's over, yeah.
As long as we're talking about banners, how long are they, are we gonna give them a deadline to get the banners off of the softball field, off of,
I requested 2 weeks after the season, they have to be down.
is that, are you gonna put that in the document? That they
Yes.
must be, okay,
Yes.
that's perfect.
So the sponsorship banners, because years ago, the park didn't allow sponsorship banners at all. I know that was a thing when your dad was director of the parks. I was in a back and forth with him about trying to do sponsorship banners. And so on the fields, now that you are doing sponsorship banners, are you, like say on the Bobby Sox field, girls softball field, are you saying to them, you can only put it on the sponsorship banners on the, outfield fence, or on the fence running around along Eucalyptus, or you telling them where it is that they can put them? Or are they able to put them wherever they want? I would think or suggest that you tell them on each of the fields where they can go, because otherwise it's just going to become kind of a hodgepodge everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
We spoke about that, and that's why we want to leave it to the parks, Recs and Parks, to decide where the
Where they
banners
go.
and the location of each banners.
So they'll have to run that by us and get approval.
Because every year, it seems like we're getting more and more banners up, and pretty soon, I don't want to see them on the outside of the streets and all that. We just want to leave them in the interior of the fields along the fence lines.
Right, and if you have a site plan or something like that, provide that to the different leagues,
Right.
showing them that this is where the banner placement could go, so that they're all clear on this is where your placement is allowed. So that somebody doesn't say, oh, well, Joseph said I could put it here, and Ally said I could put it here, you know, so that they're all clear on,
Yeah.
this is the area.
Yeah, I think we could set some parameters around it, and we can work together to kind of identify and establish what those might be. Maybe like a limit number and a location.
Right.
Go ahead.
If you have comments, then I'll wait. I was going to make a motion to approve the changes to the field allocation policy as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 4-0.
All right, thank you.
Send it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Rachel, great work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Going to number 2 now. Change the name and scope of Recreation Park Renovation Committee to Park Renovation Subcommittee.
Yes, Honorable Chair and members of the commission, so I did have a request from Councilmember Baldino to agendize an item for the city council's review and approval to expand the scope of the committee. So we have the Rec Park Renovation Subcommittee that was established to work specifically on Rec Park and the different phases. However, Councilmember Baldino has requested that the scope be expanded so that anytime there's a park project, for example, the Hilltop project that they're going to be doing, or that we're going to be doing in the next year or so, that this committee would provide oversight to those types of projects as well. So then we would change the name of it to Park Renovation Subcommittee, and they would continue to meet monthly. So this is just an item for the commission to consider approving. I am going to be bringing it to the next meeting of the city council on July 2nd. But I would like to let the council know that I've let the commission weigh in on that and provide any feedback.
I'm going to say, I don't see any feedback here, so I'll move approval.
I think it's a great idea. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
4-0.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Reports of subcommittees. Aquatic Subcommittee?
They met, I did not attend. We do need a new aquatics member, so I was going to request that we put that on next month's agenda.
Yes, we will do that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Add member.
And I will report back on that meeting at our next meeting.
Perfect.
Okay. Transportation Subcommittee?
We did not meet.
No meet, okay. Youth Sports Council? Okay. Rec Park Renovation Subcommittee. Ally's going to take that one.
Sure, yes. So I had a very lively meeting with the Rec Park Renovation Subcommittee. We took two plans, the two plans that you all saw at the special, well, not everybody, but those who were able to be here, were able to see options for the skate park and basketball court footprint, essentially, up at the Teen Center Plaza. As the commission may remember, the commission voted unanimously to recommend option D, which was shifting the basketball court a bit so that it runs parallel to the fence line, which gives some additional space for the skate park. It allows the designers to create an interface, a platform, if you will, so that we can have roll-up doors at the teen center that roll up, and kids can walk out, and it would be sort of an interior-exterior space. So brought both options to the subcommittee, and some of the subcommittee members felt that it was a little bit too elaborate of a change, and has requested that the consultant come back with an option that would essentially leave the basketball court exactly where it is, resurface it, epoxy, fix cracks, bring new hoops in and whatnot, fencing, but not demo it, not level it at all, just leave it the way it is, and then demo the skate park around and redo the skate park in order to save some costs. So we're working through that right now with the city manager's office and what our next steps are. I am set to bring this back to the council at the August 20th meeting. And so that's my update.
Okay.
Does that mean that the request that you just mentioned goes back to the subcommittee prior to the August city council meeting?
So we'll go back to the subcommittee. So one of the challenges that I'm having, or one of the things I'm trying to work out right now, is where do subcommittees fall in relation to commission and council, and in what order do I bring these items to each body? Because each body is providing input, but if that input doesn't match, or those, for example, the commission wanted to bring forward D, the subcommittee did not want to bring forward D, there's not really a protocol right now for then what do I do with that and what do I take to the council? So that's what I'm trying to work out right now with the city manager and the city attorney's office and the public works director, what's going to make the most sense as far as in what order I take these to each body and when. But my goal is to have everybody be able to at least weigh in on these options. but, you know, who determines what I actually take to the council, that's the part we're still trying to iron out a little bit.
But it sounds like there were, the subcommittee wants options that were not presented to us. So
Correct.
we could only vote on options we saw.
Correct.
And I think the way it's traditionally been is that the subcommittee is in the weeds and is the one that makes the recommendation to the commission of the options that they all buy in on. And then the commission goes, yay, take that to council. That
Correct.
makes the most sense. But, and that was why I think I even asked the question, like, has the subcommittee seen, is the subcommittee happy
Right.
with this? If there was a cheaper option that didn't, you know, we just didn't see a cheaper option. We
Correct.
saw two options that seemed great. We liked
Correct.
1D, you know, and that's, so I guess I'm just,
So ideally, I'll try to bring it back to you guys as well before it goes to the council. That means, though, we may have to call a special meeting, because I don't know if I'll be able to get it back to you by mid-July. I'm not sure of the timing. I need to figure that out, so, but if you guys would like to see it, then that, yeah, so moving forward, the subcommittee would see it first, and then the commission would see it.
I agree 100% with Kelly. And if this has to go out another month because we can't have a meeting, the special meeting can't happen, we have to do it right, and we need to do it right the first time.
Correct.
As I stated in the subcommittee meeting. So another month, how much what dollars is it gonna go up because we wait another month? Let's not worry about that. Let's do it right the first time.
and then I guess the next question is, like, are any of them in budget? Because if the ones we saw were too much.
They're all within, I mean, so we have an estimated budget for the entire phase one right now. We have about $8 million set aside.
Oh, I see. So the more you save on this phase, the more you
Correct.
can put into the other phases.
Correct. If we can stay at like 4 million for the teen center and the skate park together, you know, that whole area, then that leaves us potentially 4 million to work on the fields. So, you know, whatever we're able to save, you know, doing this project, then it just allows us to be able to do more. But we've seen the initial plans for the teen center, but I've not got yet the rough order of magnitude costs for that. And that will be coming to the commission also, because I plan to take that to the council on August 20th as well.
Okay. But just backing up, you know, these are in this priority order because this is the order they were prioritized.
Correct.
So whatever it takes to make the skate park right is the top, you know, and then everything else should get the drebs, not the skate park gets downsized so that the last thing gets the most.
Correct.
I mean, I think in terms of, didn't we prioritize this as being the most important, and therefore, I mean, I appreciate it's got to be the most cost-effective possible, but the design we saw was,
I think the priority was teen center complex overall.
Yes,
For years
correct.
and years. It wasn't just
As
the
long
skate
as
park.
there's-
Correct.
It was inside, exterior, interior, basketball court, and
That is correct.
and no one has ever, and I'm not saying you suggested this, but no one has ever tried to decrease the size of the skate park. That's
Correct.
never even been a
Right.
possibility. It was
Right.
just use the square footage as is, so that not necessarily to save money for the fields, but because it's such a minor difference in square footage wise that it's not worth the $500,000 or $1 million that
Right.
it would take engineering wise to do it. And so
right.
I'm sorry I missed the meeting here where D was selected, but that has been kind of a request of the subcommittee to see a picture that keeps the current walls and everything in the current footprint as is. So that is now a more forceful request by the council member, and so it's
Correct.
gonna happen this
Right.
time.
That's fair. The only thing is it $1 million different? Because it was only $1 million.
No, it's,
Right.
Elias estimated today that that it'll save a couple $100,000 if we don't if we don't demo the basketball court, if we literally leave it where it is. Now, he said that's his very rough estimate,
Okay,
couple $100,000,
okay.
but it is still cheaper. And so I think that's, you know, there's,
It's also his construction rough estimate.
right,
Right.
There's a
You're worried
possibility
about
you
that.
can do what we want to do without serious engineering changes.
Right.
That's what we're trying to avoid, is the engineering costs.
Correct.
And the architecture costs more than the construction costs. At least
exactly,
that's what's been conveyed in the subcommittee meeting.
right.
Got it, okay. All right.
So, but I mean, overall, the cost I think we saw was about $2 million, which doesn't seem to be out of the realm of reasonable for a new skate park, a new basketball court. Whether or not we have the money to do it, or that's what the council determines, is up to them. But
And the decision on the basketball court is also going to be based on, none of us sitting here knows what sort of thickness we're talking about. It's a possibility that it's one of those 3-inch guys, and so removing it and putting a new one in is the right choice. It's also possible that we do the overlay because it's a 6-inch and the crack isn't all the way through. So those
Exactly.
things still need to be determined later on.
exactly, yes, you're right. We did determine, though, that the bowl, because there was a big discussion about whether they're gonna put a bowl in or not put a bowl in, but the bowl actually helps because it would create a natural drainage, because there is some drainage issues out there. You know, it would create a natural area where the water could collect and go through some drainage system. Elias would have to explain it to you because I won't do it correctly, but, so it did serve a purpose in that it would help with that water drainage. So, like I said, we're gonna do some more work on it, and it will come back to you all for another visit.
Before I forget,
Yes,
there's a drain on the northwest corner of the basketball court that then goes down into the hill.
Yes.
And when I went up there a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, it was completely blocked with debris and everything. I don't know if anyone, I totally forgot to email anybody, and I apologize.
Elias
But
has been out there now,
There's a-
today.
Yeah, and it looked like that, it would really solve some of that.
Right,
problem.
and-
the bowl idea is great in the current footprint. If a bowl
Right.
works in the current footprint, then those decisions are
Correct.
for the skateboarder experts to decide based
Right.
on the current footprint.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we've still made progress. I know it's frustrating and it's hard when we, you know, but I think we're making progress. These are big decisions and there's a lot of different opinions. And we're just trying to sort of maneuver through all of them and find something that'll work.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Director's report. Ally?
Yes, so you have my report attached to your document here, so I'm not going to go through that in much detail, but I did want to just also provide some other highlight information on things that are going on. So we did have, or we didn't have, but we hosted, or we had a group host an event this past weekend in the park for Juneteenth. It was very successful, very well attended, very well run. We had no issues whatsoever. So I wanted to commend Tanya and Black and Mayberry on that event. It was people really were getting a lot of really positive feedback about that, and it's gearing us up, getting us ready for 4th of July, which is coming up on the 4th. We're very excited about that as well. Also, the Plunge Capital Campaign, that's underway. We are having a kickoff reception on the 8th of July. It's a private reception for potential donors. So I'm working with Sherry Kramer and Richard Lundquist and Mayor Boyles on that event. We're creating a video similar to the video we did for the community sponsorship program that we can share with donors. We're looking to, our goal for the campaign is $5 million. So I'm pretty hopeful and feel pretty positive that we can make that happen. The groundbreaking will be sometime in August, I'm hoping. I have been, just kind of on a side note, I'm on the community pages, the Facebook pages. I'm asking for people to share their memories about the Plunge. It is fantastic. I'm getting amazing, wonderful stories about people who not only grew up there, but today a gentleman said, my father is the person that bought the Plunge for $10 when the school district sold it. I mean, I'm just getting these amazing stories. Coach Sari, taught me to swim. And so I'm going to, get all of that information and share that with the community, whether it's at the groundbreaking or another event. But we really want to get the community involved in this. It's really a community project. So it's been really exciting.
What was that date again for the August?
It's July 8th for the kickoff.
The July 8th is the donor event.
Oh, the kickoff will be somewhere, we don't have the date yet.
Okay.
We're waiting for the contractor to give us a date. But we'll probably have a couple of events, I'm thinking, because we'll have something that's more formal, shovels in the ground, pictures of dignitaries, but then I want to do something for the community too that's maybe a little more engaging, or, so I haven't quite figured out what that is, but I want to do something where people can come out. One of the things Joseph's team is doing this week is bringing all the historical what are they, trophies and medals and things over to Joslin. And we're gonna inventory, we're gonna get some of them professionally cleaned, figure out, what do we wanna display in the new swim stadium? What do we maybe wanna display in the library or at City Hall? And then, potentially looking at, I've asked the city attorney to look at, would there be a potential to auction any of these items off if we decided we wanted to, two people in the community who wanted to have a piece of the pool, long-term. We've got the tiles, so we're saving the fish tiles, we're getting those all out of the pool. I have the contractor working on that this week. We'll put some back in some sort of artistic display, but so went over myself yesterday, went through the whole facility and was like, we gotta keep this, we gotta keep this, we gotta keep this. So it's been a really cool project. I'm
Are
excited.
the fish tiles going back in the pool?
They're not. No, they're not able to get those back in. They're very fragile. So Joseph and his team were gonna try and get them, and he goes, Allie, I don't think we should mess with it. So the contractor's gonna probably take out very large pieces and then take it somewhere and have them, to a professional and have them cut them out and just preserve them as much as we can. But they'll be somewhere in the plunge in some kind of art something. We just don't know yet. So it's exciting. Any other questions about any department happenings? Okay.
Nope. Thank you. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Lubes?
None.
Thank you. Commissioner Stolnak. Julie?
Yes. First of all, wanted to say it about the Blue Butterfly viewing season is coming up in July. There will be some viewing dates down at Dockweiler State Beach, Saturday, July 13th, Tuesday, July 16th, and Friday, July 19th. From 10 a.m. to noon would be the best times to see them. They're only there in July is when they make their appearance down there at the Seacliff Buckwheat. Our habitats in El Segundo are not ready for them yet. It'll be a couple of years. So if you want to see them, go down to Dockweiler down there near the cafe. And there will be a couple of volunteers down there helping people see them. So if you can check on Facebook, you can go to the ES Blue and the El Segundo Blue Butterfly Conservancy. There will be some postings there with the flyer. And then also at our meeting next month, the volunteers will be here to speak at the public communication about it. But I just thought that I would give everybody the viewing dates so that you can put that on your calendar. And if you haven't seen the El Segundo Blue Butterfly, it's pretty interesting to see them. They're really quick and, they're not around for long. So I've lived here my entire life, and last summer was the first time I had ever seen them.
Okay.
So come down and see them in July. Also, I've been going down and helping at the Library Park on Mondays in the Rose Garden with the Women's Club. And I just wanted to thank Joseph and Christopher. On Monday, they delivered a truckload of mulch for the Rose Garden.
Wonderful.
And we've had people stop by and say that the Rose Garden has just been, it's just blooming like crazy with roses. Really, looking nice. And so go down there and deadhead every week and take out the weeds and the leaves and everything, and then move over to the pollinator garden. And the pollinator garden is filled with caterpillars, and the butterflies are flying all around, and everything is growing in nicely. And if we can just keep people from letting their kids run around in it for some reason, I don't know why, they let the kids run around in it, but it's really growing in nicely. So go down and take a look at the pollinator garden and the rose garden. And everything is looking beautiful there in Library Park.
Yeah.
I I think that is it, but it's, you know, I think it's looking great. And also, if we can get back in the report, the city report, when you guys do it, we started it for a little while about when trees come out in the city. If we can report, you know, how many trees are coming out, but how many trees we're putting back in. Since I'm doing this Second City Rover thing, walking around town, I'm, you know, noticing trees going out, but I want to see the trees going back in. And the other, 2 weeks ago, when I stopped by Camp Eucalyptus, a lot of trees have come out of Camp Eucalyptus, and I'm hoping that we're going to be putting a lot of trees back in Camp Eucalyptus because it's looking really bare right now. And that was filled with big eucalyptus trees. And I know it'll take a long time for the eucalyptus trees to grow, but I've never seen Camp Eucalyptus so bare. And you never really used to see the building there, and now you just see the building. So I hope that however many trees came out of there, we're going to be replacing those trees as well. And then also the other thing, which they've been gone for probably at least 4 years now, the trees here at City Hall along Holly. We had at least 3, if not 4 big ficus trees along Holly that I believe the city manager, Scott Micknick, had taken out, and they've never been replaced. And City Hall along here is just barren and hot. And when they were taken out, they were supposed to be replaced. And it's just open grass. And I really think it would be nice if we put some nice, colorful trees there, whether we, you know, have a nice green tree and a purple tree, or, you know, some nice color, but we need trees back along Holly.
I can answer that. Regarding that, back when we did remove them, we did have a plan for replacement of new trees and a whole design of putting DG pathways, seating, table seating, game seating, but it got put on hold during the times that the city went sort of in the red. So it got put on hold, but we're just barely starting to talk about these plans again, of re-landscaping the design that we were gonna go with, and redesigning the HR area in the back of HR with new trees.
Okay, yeah, but that desperately needs trees
Right.
along
Yeah,
there.
we're aware of it. We just put it on hold right now, but it's already starting to circulate
They're starting to
again.
talk about it.
We're starting to talk about what kind of designs we can do for that area.
Uh-huh,
Because we want to make it more like vibrant and more friendly, residential friendly, where people can come in and sit down and have lunch and, you know, remove some of the grass areas and put DG pathways and more seating and trees and shade.
as long as the DG is kept up, because a lot of times you put DG in and then it gets weedy. The grass always looks nice, you know, and I mean, just as long as you have grass and nice trees for the shade, but a lot of times when you see the DG, you get the little ground weeds.
Right.
But it would just be nice to have trees back in there, because now it's just hot and barren, you
Right.
know? But I really like it if we could just have trees back in there. And then also, you know, walking around town, I see a lot of the trees, like along Washington, have, you know, filled with the suckers. And I know that the city and the tree guys, they have a lot of work to do. And, you know, going along and cutting off the suckers, or, you know, doing a lot of that, just the little tree trimming. Can we not, you know, utilize some of volunteers again and look at tree musketeers, and having tree musketeers go out and trim the suckers off the trees and help, you know, on weekends and things like that. Tree musketeers used to do stuff like that. And, you know, it's a lot, I know, for the tree guys to go around and do that, but we still have tree musketeers that are looking to do service hours and things. And I think that's a thing that we can tap into again. And there are plenty of people out there that want to contribute. I mean, look at, every Monday going down there and working in the Rose Garden, and there's, anywhere from, 3 to 4 to 6 to 8 people doing that and working in the park. And there are other people that want to do things, and Tree Musketeers wants to do things, and there's stuff that can be done. And it's just a matter of identifying things, and there are people out there that will do it. And, I walk every morning, and there's all those trees along Washington just filled with tree suckers, and they would continue growing more if they didn't have all those suckers zapping their energy.
Right. Me and Ellie had a discussion this evening about what you're talking about in having our city tree trimmers now dedicating so many days a month towards trimming in the park system and not so much residential, but adopting more of the park system, getting back to trimming the trees and getting it on a pruning cycle where every tree is maybe getting trimmed every 2 years, and sucker removal, signage clearance, stuff like that, but in the park system. So,
We just talked about that.
yeah,
this
we just
evening.
talked about that. So it's in the works.
Yep.
Again, that, but your volunteer stuff is good too, to bring in volunteers for sucker removal, watering, stuff like that.
Okay, because there are people out there that will want to do
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And you're doing a fantastic job at the library. And we have so many butterflies over there now. I just want to commend
I
you
know.
guys for doing a great job over there, because it really looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah, appreciate it.
okay, that's all.
That's it?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chairperson Watson. Kelly.
Well, I was gonna say the same thing about the library. Nice job, great work with the butterflies and the roses. Looks amazing. Other thing I wanted to bring up is I texted Ally the
Oh,
other day.
yes.
It's great that we took away the lawn bowling off-leash dog park that had sprung up in Rec Park. They've moved to the hockey arena, of all places. I'm walking by and seeing this woman throwing a ball for her dog in the hockey arena. I can't imagine the hockey folks are gonna be delighted about that.
Right.
But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, that there's something else that maybe the staff can keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Because as I say, I can't imagine that's a good look for the
I could
hockey.
answer that one too. We've been locking them up lately. Not only that, but the tennis courts, because we identified that problem,
Yeah.
which you observed. Also with the tennis courts, we're finding product in there from the dogs. So we've been locking them up
what I'm
every day,
saying.
so, and also, the bowling green,
It's everywhere.
It's
I mean,
everywhere. We have
every
signage too,
single
but
day, I'm telling
they
people
don't
to
seem
put
to
their
listen.
dogs
Recommendation,
on a
So-
leash.
should we put a sign outside? I mean, it
Yeah.
seems stupid, but should
Yeah.
we put a sign outside the hockey arena?
If
saying-
people
Right.
act like they don't see the signs and they
Yeah.
just go in. I mean, it's every day I'm telling people, please put your dog on a leash, please put your dog on a leash, please put your dog on a leash, you
Yes.
know?
So we've been locking them. We got some complaints about them being locked.
We did.
But it's in order to divert these dog owners to
dogs.
use the dog park, so.
And the e-bikes, try and keep the e-bikes out
Yeah.
of,
I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna touch e-bikes.
Yeah.
Not with a 10-foot pole.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, I really only have one thing. Summertime, vacation time for everybody. If you're not gonna make a meeting, and you know about it, send an email to everyone, so we all know. Nope. it
as long
does
as you're not discussing it.
We're not discussing it, you're just throwing out information, not gonna be at, the July meeting. And that way, when we get here, we go, how come we don't have a quorum?
I'm having Jacob call now, but also on that note, we have a new administrative assistant. So my replacement for Brandy will start on July 1st. So I'm very happy about that. And Linnea's old job is posted. So hopefully soon we'll have 2 new full-time people, which will be a tremendous help. Linnea's been in London and I'm practically dying.
Okay. Staff comments. Linnea's not here, so Christopher's not here. Are you taking over for Christopher? Yes. Do you have any
Good to see you.
comments?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you. And Ally, do you have anything
I
more?
don't have anything else other than happy summer.
There you go. And we'll adjourn to the July 17th, 2024 meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.